But on a more interesting note, making a sci-fi movie. Ooh, I have an idea. I think it was Alfred Hitchcock. Albert? Alfred Hitchcock, the guy who did Psycho. Um, I'm bad with names. I'm pretty sure his name was Alfred. I'll look it up. Um, he said you could make a film inside a cupboard. You could make a. This is not a political move. I'm just keeping the sun off the lens. Political move? Political gesture. I'm keeping the sun off the lens. Otherwise, that happens. I'm off again. Right, so, yeah. I could do a one-man scene in some kind of dressed-up office, perhaps, and tell a story that way. That would be interesting. What I will do is I'll do a practice thing with me at a desk in my front room, perhaps, with various props that I haven't bought yet, just labeled. Like, imagine a commissar's cap with the skull and crossbones on it. Imagine a big leather greatcoat. Imagine Gothic background. Imagine stained glass window. Imagine somebody acting. I can't act, so therefore I'll have to fuzzbox it. There was a band back in the 90s, girl band, and they called themselves Fuzzbox, which sounds kind of suggestive on the face of it, but the full name of the band was We've Got a Fuzzbox and We're Going to Use It. And a fuzzbox is basically a guitar distortion pedal, which was so distorted it would distract you from the fact that the guitarist couldn't play. And they couldn't play. They were just like visual only. And they were quite successful, as I recall. Can't remember any of the tracks, but I do remember thinking it was, not awful. So anyway, I shoot a scene, I can't act, therefore I must apply visual filters or all sorts of tricks to distract the viewer from the fact that I can't act. And if I ever get other people to join me and have like a 2-person scene or a 3-person scene, I doubt if they'll be able to act. I wouldn't ever be able to get an actor, professional actors, trained actors, to join in unless they were really young or broke or desperate for attention or looking for some kind of experience. I don't know. That's how I see this going forward. Make films, a bunch of amateur dramatics, a bunch of amateur dramatic enthusiasts, people wanting to learn, people wanting to have fun, and I dare say there'd be a fair old bit of churn with the people involved. They'd come on, work for a project, and then move on, which is fine. I'm gonna wait for that traffic to pass. Yeah, so a bit of churn, but it would enable people to move on to better and better things. That'd be nice. I'd be helping people, and I'd be having fun, and I'd be producing something that I personally would like to watch. And the thing about sci-fi is, if you put too much money into it, or if you rely too much on CGI or special effects, you run the risk of producing something that's all icing and no cake. It's all show. I'm going to cut the front of that guy. And so therefore, I would say dialogue would be a much more interesting way to go. There's no parking spaces. Dash it. Oh, what's that? Oh, right, that guy's going in there. I'm going to cut in right beside him. That'll be fine. Yeah. What was I saying? Something about. Oh yes. I'm thinking a character-driven narrative would be best because A, it's cheaper. You just need costumes and some good ideas. Okay, so character-driven pieces where it's all down to dialogue, and I'll be relying very heavily upon the lore, if you will, of Warhammer 40k to make it interesting, and so I'd be developing stuff within that. Got 10 minutes, I'll better dash. That would be so cool. That would be cool if I could do that. So it'd be shot in an enclosed space with costume, interesting characters, interesting dialogue, interesting interactions between them, and I probably wouldn't have to uh, introduce, I don't know, weapons, firearms, blanks, things like that. I wouldn't need to. I could just get it would all be so powerfully written. That's the plan. Because it's a damn sight cheaper to write good dialogue than it is to 3D print a bolter pistol, for example. Yeah, and a lot of CGI. It just looks like CGI. It looks fake because it is. So that's the plan. Immediately, I have to go do a body pump class. I'll touch base with you afterwards. Okay, catch you later. Bye.